Well, hello, Kitty Winkles. You found us in the hide. Oh, we've been watching Liz's talks from the bird box, and we have been inspired. So here you find me and the Vincent out twitching in the garden trying to spot a few birds flying past. Oh, it's been very exciting, and I hope that we see a few when you're with us. Oh, Vincent, look, what's that one? Oh, gracious. Vincent, would you look at that?
Kingfisher.
Oh, gorgeous. Oh, my word, boys and girls. Here we are in a haughel, and you would never know. And, oh, up there, Vincent. What's gracious.
Eagles.
Gracious
Eagles.
me. I have never seen an eagle in my life. Oh, gracious, where would they be frae next? Oh, look, Vincent, over to your left. Gracious. Oh, my goodness, they seem to be walking. What's those birds, Vincent?
Penguins.
Really? Gracious goodness
One looks
me.
a bit odd. Penguin.
Oh, gracious. That's quite strange in a haughel. Oh, right. Now be quiet, Vincent. Stop twitching. Right. We're waiting. Oh.
Oh, the ostrich.
Ah! Oh, gracious. Heads down! It seems to have passed, Vincent. It seems to have passed. Right. Oh, Vincent, I've seen the loveliest bird of them all.
Aye.
Gracious me, there's a lovely bird hanging out her washing. Just a wee joke, Vincent. Although the young ones say all I need to do is say lol. I don't even need to laugh. Don't need to be bothered with it at all. Lol. All right, boys and girls. What a fun morning we have had. And I will be interested to hear if you see any birds in your garden. Bye-bye, boys and girls. Bye-bye.
Hello everybody, I hope you're all well. A couple of years ago I took a break from Sunday school because I went back to university and I was really busy. I was working at university, I was working in work, and I was working looking after everybody at home. And during that time I had lots and lots of big long stories or essays to write. And very often I just did not know how to do them. I thought they were so hard that I didn't know where to start. And God gave me a verse that has been very special to me for 2 years. And it's found in 2 Chronicles chapter 20 verse 12. And it says this: "We do not know what to do, but our eyes are on you." And I'm not sure, but maybe you've had times when you've not known what to do either. Maybe you're moving school next year and you don't know what to do. Maybe you're falling out with a friend and you don't know what to do. Or maybe you're worried because your parents row a lot and you don't know what to do. But actually it's quite good to have that feeling of not knowing what to do, because it helps us realise that we need help. When we feel like that, it helps us realise that we need to speak to somebody about it. And whenever you're worried or sad or don't know what to do, it's really important that you do speak to a safe adult that you can chat it through with. Maybe that's your mum or dad, or maybe that's your teacher. Maybe it's somebody in church, but it's really important that you get help. But of course, the person that can always help us is Jesus, because he is greater and he is stronger and he is wiser than all the rest of us put together. So when we do not know what to do, we should keep our eyes on him. Which reminds me of a story in the Bible. It's a true story about Peter in the boat. And Peter and the disciples are across the lake trying to get to a new village, and it is very, very stormy. And Jesus has stayed on the lakeside to pray. But he decides to go and meet the disciples. And Jesus walked out on the water to meet the disciples. The disciples were amazed. But Peter, who is my favourite disciple, said, I want to do that too. That looks great. And he said, Jesus, can I come and walk on the water towards you? And Jesus said, yes, come on, Peter, because he knew that was the kind of guy Peter was. So Peter was looking at Jesus and trusting in Jesus and knew that any strength could come from Jesus, and he walked on the water. And he took a step out, and he took another step out, and he was walking and looking at Jesus and keeping his eyes on Jesus. Then all of a sudden, Peter started to look at the waves. He started to look at the wind. He started to think, oh, I can't do this. And at that moment, Peter started to sink and to sink. And he thankfully remembered. He knew that he must look to Jesus. And so he raised his eyes and he looked to Jesus and he said, help me. And he reached out his hand. And of course, Jesus reached out his hand and got Peter back into the boat safely. It reminds us that we can do anything through Christ who strengthens us. That Jesus is greater and Jesus is bigger and Jesus is stronger. And if we look to him, then we can be helped. Auntie Corona was looking through these binoculars today. And if you look through a binocular like this, you will see something way far in the distance, but you'll not see all the other things around it. You can focus really well on something and you don't get distracted by all that's going on. And I think that helps us to understand how we need to focus on Jesus, not be distracted about ourselves and worrying about, oh, I'm not strong enough. We aren't to be distracted by the things that scare us or worry us. Our eyes are to be kept on Jesus. And we can do that by praying. We can do that by reading our Bible. We can do that by talking to people about Jesus or singing. Or when we're out for a walk with our family, we can look around the world that God has given us and be thankful to him. So when we do not know what to do, the one thing that we should do is to keep our eyes on Jesus. Because we've been thinking about keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus today, and because Auntie Corona and Uncle Vincent were watching for birds in the garden, what I want you to do is to keep a record of the birds you see in your garden and try and find out what birds you have visiting your garden. Bye bye, have a good day.